originally in English, May 2023. Yazhi, when I asked you recently how shadow people can exist outside Earth, you said that Swaruu measured the outside in the more scientific way, and you see it more as states of consciousness. My question is, but isn't that connected? I mean, can you have a place of measurable 3D frequency somewhere and the perception of the consciousness is there 5D, as an example? And the other way around, to be in a place that measures 5D scientifically, but the consciousness is there are 3D? Because I see it as something connected. They are only averages, and the averages are caused by the people themselves. If the average is very low, then the realm is low. If it is high, then obviously it rises higher. But that does not mean that there are no bubbles in one or the other realm that contain elements of both, since everything is a soup, a mixture of frequencies. It's just that on Earth, one predominates, and outside the Van Allen bands, another predominates. As an average, I insist. And that is where instrumentation, interferometers more than anything else, can detect and assign a frequency value to a field you are in. Okay, I understand. So it is connected, of course. Measurable frequency of a place and the consciousnesses. Because it is they that really give and form a frequency that will then be measurable in a place, isn't it? For example, is it possible that my apartment would be of 3D or low frequency and I of 5D? Or will having the higher frequency change the measurable frequency of the apartment as well?
Not only that, but maybe you change the frequency of some neighbor because you are a stronger dominant.
Yes, exactly, that too. Yes, and being at or within that average either promotes or helps to raise the frequency or lower it in any case. Being that when it is lower because of being at a low average, the person must remain very strong, and that happens a lot to the star seeds. And yes, Robert, because most of them are just matrix. That is, they are more of the same field where they are, so for instrumentation, they are indistinguishable. Your bubble is the one you create around you, not just in your place, but it helps, yes. Having a place of your own helps to form that bubble, although it is more mental than situational. You shift the apartment yourself. From your perspective, it will be and is your reflection. It is where you are most projecting who you are, to the extent that if you look at someone's apartment, you will know who they are. The apartment is just the average of the overall place you are in, until someone with consciousness comes along and alters it. Okay, so the apartment itself has no frequency intrinsic to it because it is matter. It is made up of consciousnesses. But matter itself, without consciousnesses observing it and living nearby, also has its measurable frequency, doesn't it? All matter is consciousness in one form or another. Consciousness does not necessarily have to come from someone or from an animal. For example, crystals have consciousness, minerals, and that's what a building is made of. And they are very good at maintaining the average frequency or whatever is affecting or influencing them. So they hold memories, sometimes ugly ones, of past events that promote appearances of ghosts and entities like that. but they remember the good and the bad.
Okay, and a chair alone in the forest, would it have any frequency itself? And would its frequency be different from when it is in someone's house?
It depends on how long it has been there, what material it is. But in general, it will have the same average as the rest of the forest.
But a place alone, without consciousness, like the chair in the forest, where there are even no squirrels sitting on it, will also have its frequency, no? I guess I'm trying to separate the frequency of a thing, object, place, from the consciousnesses that observe it.
The chair would have to be of lower frequency than the rest of the place if it is a forest because it is very high, and the chair there would be seen as a pollutant.
Okay, I understand. Thinking. And a pen has a different frequency if it's on the street, lying around, and if it's in somebody's hand. It's curious scientifically because it shows the importance of interconnectivity between everything. Or does it also pick up the frequency of the person using it?
Yes, and simply because it is within the auric field of that person.
So it is all about the field of the dominant frequency. But who decides what frequency would be dominant? Why does the pen's frequency adapt to mine and not mine to the pen's?
Because yours is a lot and it is dominant. The pen is quite inert compared to you, although it is influencing your auric field a little bit too, in a small way, but its presence does influence and averages out.
Or a bison skin coat. Does it have a low frequency? Leather jackets and all that?
It depends on factors like how the owner takes it. Because a leather jacket has a higher durability and resistance than synthetic ones. Here we already enter into the area of food, which, according to some, lowers the frequency because it is from dead animals. However, many people need it. The same as with the leather of a jacket, camper, hunter. That is a good material that will not give the one who has it the harmful effects of the chemicals in the plastics of the same synthetic ones. So there are many factors to consider.
Okay, and Yazhi, since we are talking about frequencies and all that, someone left me this question. What's the difference between 1. Vibration, and what is doing the vibrating? Is it mass, electromagnetic fields, sound waves, the surface of ether, parts of ether? 2. Frequency. As an electrical engineer, I clearly understand that vibration is defined as simple harmonic motion. It is observed in nature to be associated with motion of mass, air or water, for example. 3. Harmonics.
1. Vibration refers to the cyclic motion of primordial subatomic particles, to the speed of orbit between their components such as electrons, neutrons, and positrons, using human terms and names. It is this oscillation that determines whether something or someone is in the visible range of an existential realm or not. That is, it refers to subatomic, atomic, or even molecular level motion. 2. It is precisely as he describes it. The movement associated with dynamics of interaction of objects or persons with mass. That is, big things. And it applies to everything that is greater than the former, vibration.
And what is doing the vibrating? Is it mass, electromagnetic fields, sound waves, the surface of ether, parts of ether?
The harmonics. and the harmonic is a mathematically constant and related sequence, just like music is. And it's generated by consciousness, and it's transmitted as gravity. That's why then I say the vibration and the frequency of each person, because it's both in the macro aspect of something and in the atomic and subatomic molecular aspect.
So the harmonics then cause both vibration and frequency.
Yes, both, but it works from the bottom up, as in the subatomic first, since vibration as a word is also associated with simple oscillation that can be measured and felt by hand, like vibration of an engine. That is semantics, but I had to mention it.
From the bottom, from the vibration to the top. From harmonics, then vibration, then frequency. Although I understand that everything happens simultaneously.
Simultaneously, yes, but it starts to be observable from the manifestation of a single particle. That is why from below.
Why do you begin to observe from there?
Because it takes very little energy to manifest an electron from the ether, and a lot of energy to manifest an elephant. Energy in the form of gravity and attention of a consciousness.
Okay, thank you, Yazhi. All this came up because I was wondering about 5D being scientifically measurable as described by Swaruu, and 5D as a state of consciousness. And 5D as consciousness is not scientifically measurable? I think it would be too, wouldn't it? Since it is related.
From Earth science, it is not measurable, or it is associated with particle vibration measurements, which in the end just turns out to be something without practical sense.
No, from your science, please.
It is measurable, yes, with interferometers. Still, it is the interpretation of it that matters. They called me for dinner already. I will have to leave.
Why does interpretation matter here? If someone is 7.8883, for example, the interpretation can change that?
Yes, depending on what scale that is, what the measurement of that number is, and the point of view of the interpreter. Even with Taigetan science, the result is just numbers. It's a chart. You need a consciousness to interpret those numbers. Give them a meaning.
Okay, and the last question. So, going back to 5D, can someone's scientifically measurable frequency or vibration, whatever, be 3D, but their consciousness being 5D? Or is that impossible?
As consciousness, which by definition manufactures and radiates its own frequency as the same, what you say is impossible. One is 5D or 3D or D consciousness, whatever you want, being that those numbers are only used as something referential, but they don't mean anything.
Another chat.
Can you measure with a device the vibrational frequency of a person?
Yes, through the aura. You can see it with the naked eye, depending on the color and the shape of the aura.
But not by amperes, can you?
Amperes is a very large measurement. It is like measuring the distance between Valencia and Madrid in light years. But yes, you can use a measure of small amounts of energy.
Could the frequency be calculated with farads or microfarads? Can they be a unit of measurement for the aura?
It is still too big a measurement, but it is getting closer.